Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. In this video, we are going to talk about the yield and join, two methods that are available in the threads class. First, let's copy this class right here. Let's rename it to threads test 02. And then here we are going to do some changes. First, let's get rid of the thread example. And now we are going to rename this to thread runnable example runnable 2. And we remove some comments. We want to keep things tidy and clean. Rename this to 2 to match the file name. And let's do the following. Let's remove everything here. Okay, so I'm just cleaning up the code so we can focus on what we are trying to learn. And you can remove this one and this one and Control D. Oh, there you go. So we have only 2 threads. We are starting 1 and 2. And here we have the thread runnable example. So I'm going to copy this one and use it here. Now we are actually using this piece of code. Okay, so what is the yield? Remember that we were talking about thread priority. And if we give like a high priority to T1, T1.setPriority, maximum priority, maybe that thread will be in execution for a very long time. In this case, we don't know. So there are some cases where you would like to give a hint to the scheduler and say, hey scheduler, this thread is willing to yield, to give space or processor time to someone else. And as you can see, thread.yield. Basically, as you can see, the method is static. It belongs to the thread class, the thread in executing this. So no other thread can say, hey, just yield for me. And if you look at the documentation, it's just a hint to the scheduler so that the current thread is willing to yield its current use of a processor, and the scheduler is completely free to ignore this hint. So unfortunately for us, there is no way to know if it's going to actually yield or not, but you can see here that we do have something a little bit different when we didn't have. But well, when we yield both of them, in the end, you are doing the same thing. So if both threads are willing to yield, and you have kind of the same result. Okay, so that's the yield. Now the join. So to explain the join, we need to draw. So let's go back to our draw.io and let's give some balls here. First, we have the main. So this is the main thread. And the main thread is always executing the other threads. So if we draw some arrows here, Control C, Control V, and we'll draw some arrows here as well, you can tell definitely that the main thread is the one starting T1 and starting T2. And all of them, they are executing the same piece of run. There's the same method. Okay, so what's happening? So the main thread is running as we spoke before. We have the main thread executing this one here, like top down, and we always see the last line at the beginning somewhere. So this means the main thread finished before T1 or T2 finished their work. But there are some very specific cases where you want the main thread to wait until some of the other threads finish their work. So for example, imagine that I would like to see all the A's, all the 500 A's, before I can actually start using or printing the B. It means that I have to tell, hey, main thread, just wait, join T1, and when T1 finishes, you just come back and continue your work. So basically, I have to tell T1, main should join T1 and wait until it finishes. So this is the join. So what I'm trying to do it's something like this. This is kind of the execution that's happening, and I have to tell the main, hey main, do not go until the T1 finishes the work. So when T1 finishes the work, the run will finish, and then T1 will be moved to the state dead, and then the main will be unblocked to continue going down the line. So basically, this is the timeline of the main thread. So let's see how it works. I should call, because I want main to join T1. So main join T1, T1.join, and we have to either catch or throw interrupted exception. Just add to the main method. Now remember, the one triggering these methods is the main thread. So when you say, hey, main, join T1, and then main will keep waiting until T1 finishes, and when T1 finishes, it's going to tell, hey, main, now you can go and continue. So basically, this is all the process that's going to happen. I could draw this a little bit better. Here and here. So let's see, Control Shift F10. So as you can see, we have all the A's, and then we have B. Of course, main thread is not being stuck anymore anywhere else. You can tell main method to also join T2. And then if we do this, you are going to see the main at the end, because you are waiting for T2 to finish before you continue to line 32. And that's what you see right here at the end. So if you add, for example, a sleep time, you will notice that it will never go to another one. So try.sleep, 200 milliseconds, and then you surround with try catch. So if you execute this piece of code now, I think I do have one extra, or am I missing one? Okay, maybe I'm missing one. Control Shift F10. As you can see, the main thread is blocked. It will never call the T2. It will never start because it just joined. And if it actually joins, start before finishing the join, you are going to get a nice interrupted exception. So basically that's how the yield and join works. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video. Bye.